Welcome to another class of Python accounting automation. In this class, I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about the basics of real-world use cases of invoice, processing, report generation, and etc. Well, we're going to be working with a lot of files such as CSV files and also Excel files. And we're also going to be changing them into PDF invoices where they're going to be saved, and all of the scripts are going to be done using Python. So as this is the first class and we're going to be using the most basic methods, so make sure not to skip any part of this class as it is going to be very descriptive and also very informative. So without any further ado, let's first off open up PyCharm on our device. First thing you can see that I have opened up PyCharm. So let's create a new project. I'm going to name it Python Accounting Demo. Okay, so this is the exact name that I'm going to use, and I'm going to press on Create. So let's wait for a bit until the whole thing or the platform has been prepared. And then we're going to be creating a lot of files. So before creating our files, we also have to learn about what are the modules that we are going to use. Pandas, which is basically going to be used for data manipulation, such as the financial reports. Then we're going to be using OpenPyXL or XLS writer, which is going to read and write Excel files. Then we're going to have PDF Plumber, which is PyPDF2, which is basically used for PDF invoice reading. FPDF and Report Lab is going to be used for PDF generation for invoices. We're going to be using SMTPlib plus email for sending invoices reports via email. We're going to be using datetime so that it can handle the date and also the time for invoice filtering. We're going to be using OS and Glob for file operations and automation. And the last thing that we're going to use is Tkinter or Streamlit, which is basically optional, but it is helpful for creating GUI. So the first thing that you need to know is you have to structurize the folder, or let's say the structure of this. First off, I'm going to create two directories. One is going to be the invoices and one is going to be the scripts. Now, in a couple of cases, you don't want to create the invoices folder. So here, right-click, directory. So the first directory that I want to create is going to be the invoices. Now let's create another directory where I'm going to put in the scripts. So there we go. We have the scripts. Now, the next thing that we want to do is first off, right-click on this, click on File. Here, I'm going to make CSV files. So here, first off, I'm going to put in the client data.csv. Now, here it is saying plugin supported CSV files found. Click on Install Plugins. It is going to take a bit of time to show you what type of repositories do you need. Make sure you are connected to the internet. Now, from there, you will have a couple of these, these plugins. So install almost all of these. Press on OK and click on Accept. It is going to take a bit of time to install all of these, and all of them are quite small, plugins. So it is going to take just like maybe a minute or maybe less than a minute. Okay. You can see almost all of them are done. We have this Cap Basic right now that is also on queue. And after it will be done, you can see that it is going to just install and it's going to run properly, just how it runs. Now you can see that one has been done and we're almost on the last one, which is Excel Editor. It is also going to be downloaded in just a bit. Okay, so let's wait for a bit until this one is also done. Now we have this Excel reader running back again. So there you go. It is installing all of the things that is needed to run all of these. Okay, updates. There we go. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in our client data. So here I'm going to put in read only. So we have read only. So we're just going to cut this off. Now, as this is CSV file, what we can do is first off, let's delete this. Right click over here, click on file, and here I'm going to name it again. And if it doesn't allow me to write it, we're going to make a TXT file first. There we go. We have the CSV file and it's not working properly. So first off, let's just create a TXT file. Let's delete this. First off, right click on this and click on new, or let's just open up the Explorer. Here, right click, click on new, and we're going to make a text document. Client data. We're going to make a bit more. Let's say I'm going to click on new, text document. Here I'm going to put in the transactions. And we're going to make another one. Here I'm going to put in email list. First off, let's start off with the client data. Here I'm going to put in the client, amount, client A, let's say 500, client B, 600, client C, 700. Now you can also reduce the spacing amount like this, and you can save it up. You can see this is how it is. As this is saved up, we're going to rename this again. And instead of renaming it, we're just going to rename the extension CSV. There we go. Now we have turned this into a CSV file. Now, the next thing that we want to do is we're going to open up the transactions. Here, I'm going to put in the date, amount. Here, I'm going to put in 2025-04-01. Here, I'm going to put in, let's say, 200 in this case. 2025-04-2, 250. Or we're just going to put in, let's say, 01 over here. 2025-04-03. Let's say 300. Let's make another one. 2025-04-04. Let's say 350. Now you can see this one has been saved too. Now you can also put in minus values if you want to. Let's say in this case, I'm going to put in a minus value over here. And I'm just going to put in the same thing. You can also put in, let's say, minus 60 over here. As this is saved up, let's just close this off. Right click, rename, put in CSV. Do the same thing for the email. Here I'm going to put in name, email, and then I'm going to put in the invoice file. Client A @example.com, client A dash invoice.pdf. This is going to be the exact name. So I'm just going to keep this copied up from here. Client B, client B. I put in an @ over here. Example.com. And here I'm going to put in client B over here. The same way, client C, comma, client C @example.com, and client C over here in the same way. So all of these have these PDF files with the name and invoice file names. We're going to save it up. Let's just close this off. In the same way, let's rename this over here, CSV. So we have all of these files created over here, and we can close off this, or I'm just going to minimize this in this case. So we have all of these files. We have client A, B, and C. We have this over here. We also have the transaction amount. So as we have all of these files, now we're going to work with the scripts. First off, let's go off into the terminal. Let's close this off. Terminal. First off, we're going to install all of the necessary libraries and modules that we need in this class. First off, I'm going to type in pip install pandas. Now it will be already, like specified, but you can see installing the extra dependencies or modules. It is going to take a bit of time. Okay. Then after that, we're going to install OpenPyXL because we're going to be working with Excel files and also CSV files. First off, let's wait for a bit until this one has been done, and then we're going to apply the other one. There we go. Type in pip install. I'm going to type in OpenPyXL. This is exactly how you want to type it. Hit on enter. It is also going to install the necessary dependencies that is going to be needed in this class. So we're also going to skip to the part, and there we go. It has been also installed. Then we're going to install PyPDF2 or PDF Plumber. So type in pip install and type in PDF Plumber. This is exactly how you want to type it, and you just want to hit on enter. Now, if it doesn't work, you can also install PyPDF2. You can see there's a lot of things that needs to be installed in this, part. So let's wait for a bit until this one is also done. There we go. This one has been done. Now let's install PyPDF2. PyPDF2. There we go. It is going to install that. And there you go. It has also been done. Now we're going to install FPDF. So type in pip install FPDF. Now let's wait for a bit. And there we go. It has also been downloaded. Now let's install Report Lab. Type in pip install Report Lab. There we go. It is also being installed and collected. There we go. This one has also been done. Now the next thing is going to be SMTPlip. Pip install SMTPlip. Now there is a keyword error, so I'm going to type in again. Install SMTPlip. There we go. You can see, could not find it. Install SMTPlip. But if it doesn't work out, let's just install email. Type pip email. There we go. It is going to collect all of these, and it is going to help us to send the invoices. Then we're going to install date time. There we go. Type in pip install date time. Now you can see it is downloading all of the necessary modules, and this is done too. Now let's install OS. Pip install OS. You can see it is not working, so we can try installing glob. Pip install glob. No matching distribution. You can see could not find a version that satisfies the requirement. So we're just going to type in the OS later on. Then you have to install Tkinter, which is one of the most important one if you're making GUI. Install Tkinter. Okay. Now here, I'm going to type in upgrade pip. If it doesn't work out, now here, I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it right over here. There we go. Installing the latest version, which is available. And there we go. We are done. There we go. Now the latest version is working properly. So in the same way, we want to install and try pip install tkinter. There we go. Could not version that satisfied requirement tkinter. Let's go off over here. Click on interpreter settings. Click on plus. And from here, we're going to search for tkinter. There we go. We have tkinter over here. So from these tkinter modules, we're just going to search in for tkinter, just the basic tkinter, okay? QU, nav, and all of these GL formats. There we go. We have tkinter. Let's install that. And we also need simple tkinter. There we go. Let's install this. And we're going to install thread safe tkinter. Okay. So after all of these have been done, we're just going to close this off and press on OK. And basically, you are just good to go with this class. Now, the first thing that we're going to do in this file is that we're going to create a script to work with the process. Okay. First things first, inside the script folder, I'm going to create a Python file. I'm going to name it process overdue. Here, first off, I'm going to import pandas as PD. Now here, from datetime, I'm going to import datetime. Now let's create a data frame equal pd.read.excel. Now open up the parentheses, double quotation, dot, /, and here you want to work with the invoices. So type in invoices. As you can see, we have this over here, invoices over here. So first off, we have the invoices dot xlsx. So it creates an Excel file. We have this read underscore Excel. Let's define the data frame. Let's say due date equal to pd dot to date time. Data frame, I'm going to put in, say, due date. After this, I'm going to close one of these second brackets off. On this line, we're going to create a bit of space, and let's start off with the date function. Today equal datetime dot today. After that, I'm going to put in the data frame, let's say overdue, that you can see. Now, another thing that we missed about in this class is the XLSX file. So first off, let's just go off into the folder, open. Here, let's first off create an Excel file and name it invoices.xlsx. Here, I'm going to put in the invoice ID. Then I'm going to put in the client name. Here I'm going to put in the amount, let's say the due date, and also the status. Here, let's say 101. Client name is going to be just client A. The amount is going to be, let's say, 500. Due date is going to be 2025-04. Then I'm going to put in 01. I'm going to put in unpaid. 102, 103. client B, client C. The amount of this is going to be, let's say, 750. This one is going to be 600. This one is going to be, let's say, 2025-05-01. 2025-04-15. This one is going to be, let's say, paid, and this one is going to be unpaid. Here, as we have all of these, go off to insert and make a table. There we go. Now we're going to save up this file and we're going to close it off. Now, if we try to put in the invoices, there we go. We have the invoices.xlsx, then it will be detected. After overdue that we're using over here, we're going to put in the due date equal df double quotation or single quotation, let's say due date, as it is already detected. Now, greater than, and then put in today. Now here I'm going to put in the overdue, let's say overdue underscore data frame equal df, secondary bracket df again, secondary bracket. Here, I'm going to put in, let's say, the overdue. That's all that you want to put in. On the next line, I'm going to put in overdue underscore df dot to underscore Excel. After this, open up the parentheses, double quotation, overdue invoices dot xlsx. That's all that I'm going to put in. And after this quotation, put in comma, and then put in index equal false. That's all that you want to do inside of this file. Okay, this is basically going to work with, all of these files, and it's going to work with the invoices, so it can create the overdue, like receipt, or let's say the invoice. Now, as we're done with this invoices, let's generate the invoices. So for that, I'm going to right click on the script folder again and create another Python file. I'm going to put in generate invoices. That's it. Here, I'm going to put in from fpdf. You can see fpdf is detected. I'm going to import fpdf, import pandas as pd, and I'm going to import os. Data equal pd dot read underscore csv. Here, you're going to start off with double quotation, put in 2 dots, forward slashes, and then put in the client data.csv. Here, I'm going to os make a directory. So type in make dirs, double quotation, same thing, put in 2 dots, forward slash, type in invoices. Now here, I'm going to put in comma, type in exist, okay, equal true. I'm going to use indexing for index in row, or let's say row in data dot iteros. Here, colon. Now you can see that this is showing off as like an error or not working properly, but we're going to wait for a bit until this one is working, and let's just wait. Okay, here I'm going to define pdf equal fpdf, open up the parentheses, keep it empty, pdf dot add. After add, I'm going to add in a page, so I'm going to keep it empty too. After this add, I'm going to put in pdf dot set font. I'm going to start off with Arial, and the size that I want to put in is going to be, let's say, 14. After that, I'm going to put in PDF.cell. Inside the cell, I'm going to put in, let's say 200 and then 10, comma, txt is equal to F double quotation. Here, I'm going to put in invoices for third brackets, let's say row, secondary brackets. I'm going to define in the client over here. After this, you might see that the quotation will end right after the third bracket. After the third bracket, put in a comma, and I'm going to put in ln, or I type in in. There we go. And type in true. Now let's move on to the next line. Say PDF.cell again. Open up the parentheses. Here, 200, comma, 10. Put a bit of space over here. Put in comma. After that, define in the txt equal F double quotation. Say amount due, colon. One thing that we did over here, let's say we did not put in any colon, but after that, we're going to put in a colon. Here, I'm going to use the $sign. After the $sign, open up the third bracket. Inside the third bracket, define in the rows, and then inside the secondary bracket, define in the amount. After the quotation closes, put in comma, ln equal true. After that, I'm going to put in PDF.output, F double quotation, put in // invoices, then put in / again, and put in third brackets, define in row, secondary brackets, put in single quotation. Here, I'm going to put in single quotation, let's say client. And after that, we're going to put in the name of the invoice, such as after that, I'm just going to put in underscore over here and type in invoices or invoice.pdf. And basically that's it. So now you can see this is the exact thing that we have done over here. So let's save up this file and let's move on with our monthly report. So for that, let's create another Python file. Here I'm going to put in, let's say, the monthly report. Let's import pandas as PD. As we're done with this, now let's create the data frame df equal pd.read, and we want to read CSV, so put in CSV, open up double quotation, .. I'm going to put in the transactions CSV. After that, I'm going to put in df, and we want the exact date equal pd.to, and we want date and time, df, secondary brackets, put in single quotation, let's say date, df, secondary brackets. Here I'm going to put in the month value equal df, secondary brackets, put in the date dot, let's say I'm going to put in dt dot to and put in underscore period. Open up the parentheses, single quotation, M. I'm going to put in the summary as a variable equal data frame dot group by. After group by, open up the parentheses. I want it by the month, and by the month, I want the summation of the amount. So define an amount, and after that, you want to just basically sum it up. That's it. And now I want the summary in the CSV file. So put in the summary.to underscore CSV. Okay, so we have the summary to CSV. Open the parentheses. Let's say I want it as a monthly CSV. Monthly underscore CSV. That is basically all that you need to put in inside this file. Now, if you want to send the email to clients, let's create another script. Here I'm going to put in send email. First off, type in import smtplib and type in from email dot message import email message import pandas as pd, and I'm going to import os. Let's create the data pd.read csv /. First off, put in double quotation. Here I want to work with email list, and then I'm going to put in for index comma row in data.iteros. There we go. Colon. Here I'm going to put in msg equal to email message. Here I'm going to put in msg going to be equal. Let's say instead of putting an equal, you can put in the secondary bracket to put in the subject. After the subject, I'm going to put in your invoice msg. Let's say from. Let's say you can put in your own email. Let's say I'm just going to put in example@gmail.com. Now you're going to define in the message, let's say, whom you want to send it to. So here I'm going to put in to equal row, then define in the email. Here I'm going to put in msg.set content. Here in the content, you want to put in a specific text. Let's say I'm going to put in hi, then I want the name of the row, and I'm going to define it with the name whom you are sending it to. There we go. Now after this, I want to put in a comma. Here I'm going to put in /n. Let's say, please find your invoice attached. That's it, and this is where it ends. Now we're going to set the path for the invoice. So type in invoice underscore path is equal to f double quotation /. Here I'm going to put in invoices. After that, I'm going to put in a / again, third brackets, let's say row. Here I'm going to, let's say, put in invoice file. Okay. So after this invoice file, this is how it ends. Put in with open. I'm going to open up the parentheses. I'm going to type in invoice path. After the invoice path, I'm going to put in comma, define an RB as F. After that, I'm going to put in MSG dot add underscore attachment F dot read, open the parentheses, comma. I'm going to put in main type equals single quotation application. After that, comma, subtype is going to be equal to PDF format, and then we're going to have the file name. So here, let's put in the file name. First off, put in a comma, file name equal row, secondary brackets, invoice file. Okay, this is exactly how you want to put in. Now, after that, move on to other lines. In the same indentation level as width, I'm going to use with smtplib.smtp underscore SSL. Open up the parentheses. Now you're going to put in the smtplib. Here you want to put in, let's say, your own dot like email. Let's say I'm going to put in smtp.example.com. That's basically it. Now, you also need to put in a port value, put in comma. Let's say 465 is the default value. Now here, I want to open it up as SMTP. After that, you also have to make sure you put in a colon over here. I'm going to put in SMTP dot login. Now you're going to put in your email. After the .com, you have to put in and define your password. Let's say you're going to put in your own password. I'm just going to put in a very default password, which is basically not mine. And then here, you're going to put in smtp.send_message. Now, in this way, you're going to define the message, and the exact message that you define over here in this file is going to be sent. Now, if you want to run all of these files, right-click. You can see there we go. We have the overdue invoices. If you want to do this, right-click over here. And there we go. We have made another one. Run monthly report. There we go. Another one has been created. In the same way, you can run this, but it is going to show me off as an error because we are not putting in our own emails and our own password. Okay? But if you put in your own email and password and put in whom you want to send it to and your invoice, you'll be able to send it in the same way. You can also see in the invoices, we have the PDF files. We can open them up in Explorer. If you open this up, there you go. Invoice A is this much. B is this much. For C, it is this much. So you can see how simple it was to create report and also PDF and invoices using CSV and Excel files. So thank you for watching this video up till the very end, and hope you understood about everything in this class, as I've shown you how you'll be able to work and read and also write CSV and Excel files. If you still have any confusion or any question, feel free to ask me anytime. I'm always there to help you out. So without any further ado, let's move on to our next class of Python accounting automation.